This is Keith Moore from Open Government TV with our affiliate out of Ethiopia, My Africa TV channel. And we're here with Congresswoman Schwartz from the Pennsylvania district.
Yes, exactly.
And Congresswoman, what did you think of today's, not only what did you think of the speech, but what do you think we go from here based upon that speech?
Well, the President laid out a vision for the future, and what he really called on us to do is to work together with him, Republicans and Democrats, not just sit together, but work together to meet the major challenges ahead, and that is really to make sure that we are able to compete in a global marketplace, and we ought to do that by investing in innovation and technology and in our infrastructure and in our education, so we have a skilled workforce for the future. And so he said we have to get serious about our debt, and we have to get serious about acting in a fiscally responsible way, but in fact we also have to make sure that we are not standing still. We're moving forward to make sure that we continue to be the great, strong democracy and economy that we are.
Do you think that we could, he said in 10 years we want to produce 100,000 new teachers, and with budget cuts and cutting in education, how do you see that that's going to be able to work out?
Well, we're going to train our teachers. We're going to meet our commitment to educate every one of our children, and that's certainly something we're going to do. And we need, some of our teachers are getting older and retiring, and we definitely need new, smart, energetic, compassionate young people, and maybe some who want to change careers to consider teaching.
We're here with Congressman Meeks from New York, and Congressman Meeks, thank you so much for joining us and giving us
being with you.
What did you think of the speech today?
Well, I thought it was excellent. I thought it was inspirational. I think that the President articulated exactly where we came from, the difficult days we had for the last 2 years, and that we have to do some tough things. But now that those things are just about done, we've got to move to the future to make sure that we're creating the kinds of jobs that are necessary. And to create those jobs, we've got to improve our infrastructure, we've got to educate our young, and we've got to be able to compete abroad so that we can create the jobs here. So I think that the President hit a home run in letting the nation know that it's in a better place than it was 2 years ago, and we're going to continue to grow, and we're going to meet our the challenge of our times, as the individuals back in the late 50s met the challenge dealing with the Sputnik satellite.
Congressman, you're speaking to Ethiopia here, and the President clearly talked about the global economy. You're from New York, where the diversity runs rich, and then we have technology. So where's the greatest challenge within being able to take our urban communities and get them global and equipped for the global economy? Where do you see that, particularly in the light of the budget cuts that the government is going to face?
Well, again, I am a strong proponent of the global economy. I think that we've got to make sure that countries like Ethiopia and other countries in Africa and third world countries are able to participate in this economy. I think that will help. It helps America. It helps jobs and gives an additional market that Americans can sell their products to. So, and it also helps when Ethiopians have an opportunity to ship some of the goods that they make here to the United States. I'm one who believes in trade and thinks that that's good for all, as long, make it fair for both sides. It's a win-win situation. But I think that the challenge that we have here in the United States is that the major jobs that are going to be created today and tomorrow, you have to have an education. And it has to be a darn good one. And it has to be generally, right now, for you to have real opportunity in science, engineering, and mathematics. And so we've got to have a real focus on improving and strengthening our educational system and make it so that they can compete with anybody over the world. As well as, and I think the President addressed this accurately also, that we've got to have individuals from every place else in the world come and get a quality education here, and we like a number of them to stay here once they get that education, as opposed to pushing them away. So I think that's tremendously important, and that's a challenge given to where we are now in some of the positions, especially led by the majority in the House, who seems to oppose that when we were lucky fortunate during the lame duck session in the House to pass the DREAM Act, but we were not able to get it done or get it through the Senate. And I think that we've got to get past that. We've got to understand that it is important that individuals who are either were brought here illegally but at a young age, no fault of their own, that they stay here, but also as important that we are a nation that welcomes individuals to come to this country, a nation of immigrants, and we need others to immigrate here from all parts of the globe, and that's what helps strengthen us, and I think it will help the United States of America to continue to work with other countries around the world, because people from all over the world are here and understand that we want to lift all boats.
This is Keith Moore from Open Government TV with our TV, My Africa TV channel from Ethiopia, and with Congressman West, first-time Congressman member here from Florida. Yes. Tell us not only what you thought of the speech today, but where do you think we go from here because of the speech?
Well, I think that you saw a president that was caught between two worlds. It was a world of the reality of what happened on the 2nd of November. So there were some very interesting points in the speech where he sounded very much like a conservative, but then there were also some points where he had to appease that liberal base, and that's the juxtaposition that he was placed into. So when you talk about, fixing the budget, when you talk about, reducing the debt and cutting spending, government reform, things of that nature, I mean, those are some of the things that we want to hear. But then when you start to say the word investment a whole lot, and investment, if it's a synonym for government spending, then that's something we can't go with, because that's what got us in the situation we're in right now.
Wow. So what I hear is that we have a requirement to invest in education, invest in science, technology, engineering, and math to be globally competitive, but a budget that won't allow us to really invest. How do we balance this where we win as a country?
Well, we win as a country when we trust the private sector. And with the private sector, that's where you get the investment, the ingenuity, and the innovation. And the government exists to create the conditions by which the private sector can grow. But if we continue down the path where the public sector is outpacing the private sector in growth and compensation, then you're not going to be able to grow. And that's my fear. Because if you want to talk about the best means for education, competition is a great thing. It is about, school vouchers, school choice, charter schools, and all of these means by which we can educate our young people and get them prepared for the next generation. But it's also about bringing in the private sector and make them partners in the education, so that we're not just talking about the theory in the classroom, but we're talking about the practical application. And I think that that's what we need to be focused on. And not every child has to go to college to be successful. I think plumbers out there do pretty well in their trade also.
We have 85% of the workforce in the government is retiring, so we have a new workforce emerging. We have budget cuts that are demoralizing because we got pay freezes, but yet the government is the biggest buyer of goods and services. So large businesses have for years done really well. What about our small businesses in a more competitive environment?
You bring up a great point, because I sit on the Small Business Committee. And once again, you have to understand one of the key things about those tax rates that we extended as they were. Small businesses operate from the personal income tax rate level, not from a corporate business tax rate level. So we need to make sure that they have some stability, because they could not afford to see a 5% increase in what they're doing now. And also the thing that the President talked about is the regulatory burden that we're putting on them, as well as on top of the taxation burden. So the fact that he is willing to lift that 1099 requirement out of the health care law, that's a big thing. We're seeing insurance premiums go up, and you're seeing a lot of small business owners put people off of their health care, put people on part-time. There's a requirement in the health care law where if you go above 50 employees, you go into a different type of penalty as far as your health care providing requirements. So we need to get rid of those things that prevent the small business owners who are really the economic backbone of this country from growing. But coupling that with also reducing that corporate business tax rate, which is soon to be the highest in the world because Japan is talking about lowering theirs, 35% is killing our corporations. There's trillions of dollars in capital out there that they're waiting to unleash so that we can really start developing and hiring Americans and being competitive in the 21st century.
So is there a difference between corporate America and the tax cuts that you're referring to and the wealthiest 2% of America, per se, or are they the same?
Yeah, but let me tell you something. We got to get away from this class warfare rhetoric. We cannot be punishing people because of their wealth, and I think that the estate tax, we need to get rid of that. Capital gains tax, dividend tax. We need to look at every means possible where we can put money back in the pockets of the American people so that they can take care of their budget requirements. They can take care of growing this economy. And then up here, we've got to reduce the spending that we have, I guess, become so rabid with in Washington, D.C., because $2.71 trillion in a deficit in just a couple of years, that's not how you're going to turn this economic ship around. And we've got this debt limit vote coming up. I think we need to tie some budgetary control measures to that because we've got to stop increasing the debt limit. We've got to start lowering it.
Congressman West, you have some amazingly innovative ideas. We'd like to stay engaged and talk with you further. Thank you so much for joining us after this wee hour of the night.
Oh, that's what I'm here to do.
Okay, thank you so much. Congressman West from the Florida area, first time, good luck, okay, in this, and congratulations for your win.
Thank you.
This is Keith Moore from Open Government TV. We are here with our affiliate from Ethiopia, My Africa Channel TV.